here
Hello.
we have Dmitry. Hi, Dmitry. So I guess stage is yours. So tell us what you have on facilitation part.
Yeah, thank you. So it should be fine now.
Yes, we see your screen and you. So everything
That's
is
great.
great.
Thank you. So let's start. Thank you for joining. We're going to talk about facilitation today, and I will share my story how actually did I transfer my offline activities as an agile coach to online, and focusing on facilitation techniques and how it actually works in online. And I work as an agile coach. I'm in Moscow, Russia. I hope that I could visit Vilnius at that period of time, but unfortunately the borders are still closed, so we have to meet online. And I will start with my quotes that I used to speak in 2019. And when we have a look at it, it just, I didn't even believe that it was me that I was saying this. I didn't believe in online facilitation at all. I was thinking that this is approach to reduce costs. So if we can't gather people in one place, so we have to do online. I sincerely hated online trainings, and I was thinking that offline is much more efficient for me. And the very special part for conferences, because it's a great event, you can network all the time, and I was hoping that it will be offline all the time. But as we see, now we meet online, and I'm on an online conference, so a lot of things have changed during the last year. And of course, the lockdown, which happened in Moscow approximately in March, showed us that we have to change our mind regarding this. And I started to collect on my offline activities. We were working a lot with Scrum Masters school, which we were organizing, facilitating, and we used to do it in offline only. So this is the photo from offline Scrum Master school. We had a lot of facilitation sessions, which we held also offline. We had mentoring sessions, working with business units, working with teams, and etc., etc. Today, I'm going to discuss two things: the facilitation and how we converted the Scrum Master schools to online, and why it was nice and what wasn't. First of all, I remember that day when we were sitting in the office, and we supposed to think that we would have an agile basic course. We will be providing it, and no one actually came because the situation changes dramatically, and we were thinking about what to do next, because we were trying to realize that there won't be possibility to provide any offline training, for example, and we could transfer this to online like a temporary solution, like, okay, 2 months will pass and we will come back to the offices and we'll work in a normal mode. But week passed, a month passed, 3 months passed, and nothing changed. And we understood that actually things will never come back to normal. And we have to adapt to this new reality. And we'll get back to the offices sometime. We will be less mobility than now, but things will still never come back to normal. And we have to recreate everything we had in online. It was a really interesting challenge. And we started from facilitation sessions. So there is a quick, facilitation tips from online facilitation. First of all, ground rules and commitment. It's equal to offline. It's very important to have ground rules on meeting and to receive a personal commit from attendees. of this facilitation session, because you can use it further if something went wrong. But some of these ground rules are very specific. I've heard that some speakers earlier told about it. I would add a video always on and audio is always on. This is a ground rule for facilitation session. It could be understood wrong. So I explained that when we have had a meeting, we receive a lot of information from non-verbal communication, like how I react with my face, with my gests, how I can maybe laugh at some joke. And when we lose video and lose audio, we lose a lot of non-verbal communication, and it doesn't create a safe space on the event. So ask your attendees to turn your video on and turn your audio on. Usually people says that, oh, I have a bad background, I know I have kids, I have cat. Come on, everyone have family, everyone has a dog or cat or something like that. The world became very tolerant to kids, because everyone is in the same situation. So ask your attendees to turn on the video and audio. It's very important. And I would add about one person speaking. It could be sophisticated when you have a very big amount of attendees at the event, but the reality of the online is that if we speak together, no one will get anyone. In offline meeting, there could be some things that we can help, but in online, no. So it's crucial to be very efficient on it. About keeping silence is more difficult. I mean that if you're talking to a group as a facilitator, you often ask questions. And when you ask question to the group which is online, you have very long pause before answer. It depends from that people are thinking, then they are trying to find their brave to tell something. It's even difficult in offline, but in online, it's even more noticeable. So be patient, keep silence, and understand that when there is a silence, it doesn't mean that the event gone bad. Because people are thinking it's okay. About draw all steps on of the session on whiteboard. Of course, you are preparing to any facilitation session, and we don't have flip charts now. We don't have walls which we can use here. We have whiteboard. I love Miro, so I use it even here. And when I was preparing facilitation sessions, I understood that I can create one place where it could be all steps of the session. And for me, it's very comfortable to have all content in one place, and you can share just one link to the group. And it's quite famous and comfortable tool for them. So this is briefly the agenda of the retrospective session, for example. I will show how it looks like in reality, but it works very nice. Avoid open discussions. Open discussions when we are trying to talk with all the group in a single moment. It's equal to offline. We are trying to avoid open discussions even there because they're not so efficient. But in online, there is a very interesting thing that when we ask group something, we often use the first answer from the group, and we decide that whole group thinks the same. So don't use the first answer. Ask for different opinions or for same opinions. It's very important, because if you are a participant on this event and someone who was brave to tell the first, and you did not, but you do not agree, if facilitator goes further, you won't have an possibility to share your idea. 1:1.5 ratio, it's about length. For example, if you are providing a sprint retrospective, usually offline for 1.5 hours, you should book 2 hours for online event. Just because people thinking and working a little bit slow in this online form. Start Zoom session earlier than official start and finish later. It's not for trivial sessions, not for daily Scrum, for example. It's just for more serious events where you have maybe you have some strategic sessions. Why do we do this? A lot of people comes earlier to the event, like on offline. You may have coffee break or something like that, and you recreate this offline experience there. So you allow them to come a little bit earlier, to have a chat, to get to know each other, maybe solve some issues that they have not connected with the strategic sessions, but just they met and they decided to discuss something important for them. And finish later is also the possibility for people to have a chat about something important for them. I didn't mention, but it's also important. You should not disconnect for breaks, for the same reasons, actually. And just the tools usage when you all prepared for the facilitation events, there is a function to lock objects as your attendees couldn't move them. It's very important because if you forget it, you won't get it back to normal. So this is a small tip, but very important. These were facilitation tips for facilitation session. A few words about Scrum Masters School, which we were providing, and it was based on 3 principles. 1.5 hours class, just 20 minutes with theory, and more experimenting, co-creating, and reflection on this experience. So it's fully repeats the COLP cycle. It's a way how adult people get new knowledge. So it fully recreates out there. And when we were trying to convert this to online, we understood that actually it works in online too, because people say it's the same. And we started to convert it. Average amount of Scrum Masters during one session in the school is 20-25 people. So it's quite a big group, and we always split them to mini groups. How to convert it to online? The Zoom session rooms. Fantastic thing that helps to work with a big amount of people and still stay efficient. And you can get them in one space. So how it looks like. For example, if we provide a sprint retrospective and we want to ask them what was made during the sprint, and we have big team, we can split them to 4 session rooms and tell them, so you work here, and here. And after that, you don't need to compile all these things. We just get back to room and discuss an open discussion what was made well, sorry. So back to converting tips. When we were working in offline, each mini group had its own flip chart where they were writing the material, but now we use a special place in Miro board, and we show them where they should work. Facilitation map. This is a thing which facilitator uses It's like a guide for facilitator how to provide this specific meeting. Very detailed. It's including timing, tools, phrases, techniques. So it's a very important thing. I used to do it in Google Sheet because I just like tables and it looks like, for me, nice. Now Facilitation Maps looks like this. So we have ground rules for our attendees, agenda. We have step by step our facilitation techniques. We use differ. So our arrows are just to show the logic. And we get to the end. Also, there is a facilitator guide. Just what things we should pay attention to when we are providing this event. And we can easily share this thing, and another facilitator could easily provide it because he has all tools, techniques, timing, and guide. A very comfortable thing when you are working with your colleagues and you have to adapt to your timetable actively. So, and I didn't discuss the last one. Usually we used to create something like follow-up from the meeting. Sometimes we ask someone from the group, sometimes we do it by ourselves. But now we just need to share a link to the whiteboard, and this is it. So this is the whole, not only the result, but whole facilitation session, whole follow-up, and it works really nice. So finally, the Scrum Master schools in our organization won't be in offline at all, because we really liked online. We started to prepare it well, and the feedback from the Scrum Masters is fantastic. So we really like it, and we're still going to continue this in online format. But it isn't the silver bullet, you know. It's not like online is just killing on problems. The most important thing, the most crucial, it's bad internet. So, and it made you angry, even if you are talking with someone and he has bad internet or you have it, because you just can't do anything with this. And this is unsolved online issue. I would say that you can have a plan B for this case, but it doesn't mean that it's working. The second thing isn't easy to get, but if your colleague has very bad noise or quality of microphone and you have to communicate every day, just made you angry. You just can't realize that this is not the person, it's just like this person sounds from this microphone, and it makes you angry. Talking to black square, I mean, if a person doesn't turn on the video, I have the colleagues which joined during this COVID situation, and I have never seen them. So if we will meet in the office, I won't recognize them. And it's very difficult for me. We're still in the process of agreement, but we didn't. Troubles with whiteboard services. I used to use another whiteboard services, and it was it had problem exact at that moment when I had a facilitation session. So I didn't have plan B, and I have to refund it and use now mirrors. I hope there won't be such an issue there. And experience diversity shows clear. I mean, now if you are a facilitator, it's very important to have experience in specific tools. You have to use Zoom very well, you have to use Miro very well. And if you are not, it shows very dramatically. So it may feel you anxious about it. And then unexpected advantages, super mobility. I would say that this year was the best for Russian internal tourism, because everyone understood that you can work in Moscow, receive salary in Moscow, and live not in Moscow, and it's much cheaper. So a lot of people just get away from Moscow and still continue work online. KISS is administrative work. It means that you shouldn't do a lot of work to get people together in one place. That's a fantastic thing. And the key idea that helping profession and Scrum Master and Agile coach are supposed to believe are helping professions. They can work online too. They can convert from offline to offline and give this value to their customers. So the key idea of this speech is, if you will design the online event, it will be equal to offline, not worse, maybe not better, but equal regarding the energy level, the outcome, and efficiency. So this is it. I guess I'm in time, yeah?
Yeah, you are on time, and we have one question. Let me switch to another session because some people haven't switched session and ask the question in Mateo's session. So let me try opening it. Any hint or tips on how to kindly ask those shy developers to turn on their cameras, putting them into awkward position when there's only one person, camera less doesn't seem to bother person. So how to force them?
Yeah, understand. And the question is, it happens from time to time. If we were talking exactly about tips, there was one tip when we agreed everyone to turn on the cameras. Most, I think 80% of participants of event turned on the camera because they were agree. And others saw that everyone is with camera and they turned on too because everyone is doing like a rule. So, but if it's if developer is shy and feeling awkward about this, you can use, you can just talk to him. Maybe he has something, some circumstances that just doesn't help, doesn't give him this opportunity. So I'll just talk with this and describe that for me is very important to see you. I'm not interested about your background or where do you live. I just want to see you and how do you react at my words. It would be a pleasure for me if you turned on the video, but if you are not, okay, send a photo to a chat, I don't know, something like that. So just start this connection and he will, I hope he will understand that it doesn't make an additional unpleasant feelings for him.
Okay. Yeah, and another case, I guess you can force it with company policy, yeah?
Of course, yeah, we saw like company policies and we need more of them. Yeah. I don't think that's, it may work, but I don't think that he will be happy after this, so.
Definitely not.
I prefer to talk and to ask why. I just don't realize. Could you please explain me why you don't turn on the camera? Just interesting, nothing, no pressure.
Okay, so thanks, Dmitry, for your insights on facilitation. So our session is finished, and you guys don't forget to share your thoughts on menti.com. You can see code at the session, and please share your things, thoughts, and rate this session so that Dmitry can get more insights how he can improve and get better in this.